you want it?
Bay 12, please.
Hello there, Batman fans, and welcome back to another Bay 12 video review. And today we are reviewing the new Arkham City Grundy Build-A-Wave. Oh, I have especially been excited for this wave. Ever since it got leaked and then confirmed and then up for pre-order, this is a wave I had been looking forward to for quite some time. Now, I will go ahead and address what a lot of people have been saying. Yes, Grundy is a little bit on the small side. I don't think he needs to be quite as huge as the DC Direct figure, which is crazy, crazy expensive still. So, honestly, I'll take it. I'll take a Grundy that's just a little bit on the small side, but still looks really great and is affordable. I mean, it's still way more affordable to just straight up buy the whole wave, even a little bit over retail, than it is to try and get a hold of the DC Direct Grundy. However, the DC Direct Grundy is a really great figure with a lot of really great details. So if you can swing it and you can afford it, I would definitely say get it. But I would say this is a really good Grundy to have still regardless. So I can't wait to put this guy together. But I also really can't wait to get into this wave. Now, I know there's a lot of other characters from Arkham City that a lot of fans have been looking forward to, myself included amongst them. I know there's a few characters that people would have rather seen in this wave instead of some of the other characters that were in it. For example, I would have much rather had a new updated Two-Face instead of Penguin, because I feel like he was a really awesome character in that game, a really awesome side villain. I know Penguin was more prominent in Arkham City than Two-Face, but he was the main focus of Catwoman here, who is in the wave. Now, it makes sense that she's in the wave because the DC Direct figure for Arkham City wasn't that great. This is definitely a huge improvement on the Arkham City Catwoman figure that we got years ago. But a Two-Face to face off against her, I think, would have been really cool. Now, that's not to say that there isn't one in the works at some point, because we do have more Arkham figures coming that aren't part of a Build-A-Figure wave. We have the Arkham Knight Red Hood coming out soon. We have the Arkham City Joker with Raz Al Ghoul's sword coming out soon. And we have an Arkham Knight Scarecrow coming out soon. So there's more Arkham stuff coming. McFarlane, the Todd father, has not stopped working on Arkham, which I'm personally happy for, because Arkham is my absolute most favorite corner of the DC multiverse. So I will admit I'm a little biased when it comes to Arkham stuff, because that is, in my opinion, the pinnacle best part of the DC multiverse. And you might disagree, and that's totally fine. That's why it's my favorite and not yours, I guess. But yeah, I've been excited for this wave. So we have a new Batman, which is the Arkham City suit and the Arkham Asylum suit aren't that different, but this is a new updated figure, which is really cool. We've got, of course, Catwoman, we've got the Penguin, and we've got Raz Al Ghoul. A solid wave. Again, there's some other characters I know other fans were hoping for instead, but hopefully he'll get to them soon. Especially the one I see the most is Mr. Freeze, and I most certainly agree. I really, really hope that McFarlane gets to a Mr. Freeze sometime soon from Arkham, because Mr. Freeze was an amazing, amazing character in Arkham. So we're going to start off with Batman. There we go. We're going to start off with Batman over here. Again, a new Batman figure. He looks great. Not all that different from the Arkham Asylum suit. The Arkham City suit wasn't much of an update on that. I will, however, say that this suit is still really cool looking. And as far as the face sculpt goes, this version of Batman is at least in detective mode. I'll get into that when we zoom in on his face. On the back, you've got the artwork of the Grundy Build-A-Figure. You've got the Arkham City logo on the side. I've heard rumor that maybe there's potential that McFarlane might do the poster art versions of Batman, where, you know, the awesome black and white artwork. I don't know how true that rumor is. I personally hope that's one he'll do, because I absolutely love that artwork, and I would definitely buy this figure again in that color scheme just to have, but that's just me. Anyway, here he is. He looks great. He comes with Grundy's legs and his grapple gun, or bat claw. And what's cool about that is, while this isn't the first release of the Arkham grapple gun, ooh, goodness, this is the first time Batman's come with it. Because the previous 2 Batman figures did not come with the grapple gun. We're going to go ahead and set Grundy's legs aside. There's the bat claw or grapple gun. And here is Batman. Oh, yeah. Definitely a nice updated figure. Some stronger joints, some slightly better ankle joints than the other one, some better wrist joints. Definitely much better wrist joints than last time, which is really nice. And the other thing I like is the cape isn't so crazy long as with the Arkham Asylum release of Batman, because it's kind of difficult to stand the Arkham City Batman, not Arkham City, this is Arkham City, the Arkham Asylum Batman without the use of a stand because of his cape. His cape just makes him lean forward too much, and it's difficult to stand up. Now, of course, this one's ankles is kind of fighting me right now to get him to stand up properly, so what is going on here, Batsy? I need you to stand up for me. Don't make me dig out the stand. I will. Okay, thank you. Here he can hold his bat claw in his hand, of course, which he uses quite frequently. I mean, that's really how you get around, is by using that. Oh, great. Here we are with not stand. Okay, thank you. And for comparison, here he is next to the Arkham Asylum Batman released. Well, actually, this was the first Arkham Batman released by DC Multiverse. And here he is next to the Arkham Knight suit Batman. I still think the Arkham Knight suit's the best out of the 3. I mean, it's supposed to be the best. It's his most functional suit. It's his best suit that he had designed up until the point of Arkham Knight in that franchise. So it would stand that this suit should still be the best looking one and should still be the best one. But it is nice to see the new the Arkham City suit side by side. Now the gauntlets are a bit different. He's got more technical data pad stuff on his gauntlets. The bat symbol's a little bit wider. The cowl's a little bit different. The ears aren't as curved inward. They're more straight standing. Face sculpt looks really, really good. Now you'll notice the eyes are bright and white. That, like I said, he is in detective mode there. So that's how you can tell when his eyes are in detective mode. The lenses inside his cowl are lit up, so he's got his HUD going. You got a nice bright yellow utility belt there versus the more bronze utility belt of the Arkham Asylum suit. You still have that awesome line work on the bat suit. The cape looks really cool. It's kind of flowing in that direction. I also really like how this time they painted the knuckles rather than just be straight black. And overall, just a really, really awesome figure. Now, of course, he comes with his data file card, and they used artwork from the game for this one rather than the toy artwork, which looks really good. I like how he's looking down probably on one of the various rooftops inside of Arkham City. Got some words and things there on the back. Real name Bruce Wayne. When his parents were gunned down in front of him, young Bruce Wayne resolved to rid Gotham City of the criminal element that took their lives. He trained extensively to achieve mental and physical perfection in addition to mastering martial arts, detective techniques, and criminal psychology. Dressing as a bat to prey on criminals' fears, Batman fights crime with the aid of specialized gadgets and vehicles operating out of his secretive Batcave below Wayne Manor. Would have been cooler if they talked a little bit more about, you know, the events of Arkham City, his motivations for being in Arkham City, how he ended up in Arkham City. I don't know, something about Arkham City would have been really cool there. But I mean, yeah, there's the origin story of Bruce Wayne that we all know, and that they constantly repeat on the data file cards. I don't know why they keep doing the same Bruce Wayne talk about his origin story again. Next up, here we have Catwoman. Catwoman's not just one of Batman's rogues and on-again, off-again love interests, but in Arkham City, she's also one of the playable characters. Arkham City was the first, even though it was the second game, it was the first time we actually got to play other characters in the Arkham universe, which was really, really cool, actually. So here she is. On the back, you got some artwork of the Grundy figure. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. Go ahead and pull out that data file card ahead of time this time. She comes with one accessory. She comes with her whip. And then, of course, she comes with the torso of Grundy. Fully articulated, her head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, double jointed elbows. There we go, double jointed elbows, wrist joints. And I also like how this hand is in the grasping position so she can hold her whip. Go ahead and put that in the hand there, which is actually really fun to use in the game. And then her other hand, she's doing kind of like this claw-like gesture, which is also pretty cool. Upper waist, lower waist, hips. Not a whole lot of upper thigh articulation. Double jointed knees, single jointed ankles, and still those toe, oh goodness, that toe pivoting joint just a little bit on her heels there. I feel like they nailed a lot of the detail on this character quite well. The face sculpt looks great. The line work on the suit and the various textures on the suit, where it's kind of got like these little like cell sections, looks really good. You can see all the molded laces all the way up her boot and down to the bottom of the boot. Her knuckles are painted as well. Not so much the claws, though. The claws on her individual fingers aren't really painted in one color or another. And, of course, they did paint the little tag on her collar there. Be cool if you could bring her lenses down at all, because her version of her detective mode, or I think they call it thief mode or burglar mode or whatever they call her, special HUD vision in the game. Her goggles come down for that, so that would have been cool. Hopefully there's a version later on with the goggles down, maybe a gold label or something where you can have the goggles down. And for comparison, I don't have the Arkham City version, but I do have the DC Direct Arkham Knight figure, which actually was a really, really good figure. Now the suit's a little bit different from her Arkham City suit. Plus she also has the collar from the bomb that Riddler put on her neck. That would be another, speaking of which, that would be another really great figure for DC Multiverse to do, is the Arkham version of Riddler. I like the face sculpt on this one just a little bit more. They changed the character's face sculpt design a little bit in-game. I wish they hadn't for Arkham Knight, but they did, and that's why her face sculpt looks so drastically different here. Both are actually pretty accurate to their respective games. But personally, I think this is the best Arkham Catwoman figure so far. Now, she also comes with her data file card, and they also used artwork from Arkham City, which, fantastic, looks great. Words and things on the back. Real name, Selena Kyle, an orphan who learned to survive on the mean streets of Gotham City. Selena Kyle turned to thievery to survive. Determined to do it with style, she learned martial arts and trained in gymnastics to perfect her skills. Her criminal activities are tempered by a reluctant altruism, making her an inconstant villain and occasional hero. She maintains a completed adversarial relationship with Batman that frequently turns to flirtatious and occasionally romantic. Which she does save Bruce's bacon towards the end of the game. So, spoiler alert, I know. Next up, we've got Raz Al Ghoul, another one of the main antagonists of Arkham City. The bad guy behind the main bad guy, or one of the main bad guys of Arkham City. There's a few interweaving main villains of Arkham City. It's kind of difficult actually to label one specific, okay, this is the main villain. Well, actually, there's 3 main villains of Arkham City. The main villains, I would say, are the Joker, Raz Al Ghul, and Hugo Strange. Those are the main villains of Arkham City. I'm not quite sure if I could really say one is more of the main villain over another one. I would say it's fair to argue that they're equally the main villain of Arkham City. But anyway, here's Raz Al Ghul. He looks great. I know I've been saying that with all these, but really, they do look great. McFarlane's done it again. He comes with the arms for Solomon Grundy here. On the back, just like with the others, you've got the toy art of the Grundy Build-A-Figure there. Talks about the other figures in the wave, as well as the Build-A-Figure part it comes with. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. There's one arm. There's another arm. He also, of course, comes with his sword, the ceremonial sword of the head of the demon, within the League of Shadows. He stands nice and tall. Overall, his suit looks really great. I think they nailed his tattoos. They got it. They did really good on the grays on the side of his hair. So, articulation, he is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders. Upper bicep, double jointed elbows. Wrist joints. Lower waist. Hips, single, or actually double jointed knees, ankle joints, toe joints, and that's pretty much it for articulation. I think he's very comparable in size to Batman. I think he looks really good next to Batman there. And like I was saying, that face sculpt looks really, really good. His eyes look awesome. They did such a good job on those tattoos on the side of his arm. Of course, you've also got the nice little trim work on his ceremonial outfit there. There's the demon's head on his chest very prominently, the belt buckle. A lot of the details on this figure are just fantastic. And for comparison, here he is next to the DC Collectibles version from the Arkham City line back then. And this figure was cool for a time, but yeah, this is a huge, huge improvement in my opinion. I liked some of the things they did with this. Like, I like how his tattoos were green from when he just came out of the Lazarus Pit. And there's some like green veining and some other effects on this figure as well. But overall, I think this is a much better figure, especially as terms of quality. It just feels better in your hand. It feels sturdier. some of those DC Multiverse figures back then were a little bit more fragile. Now, I've never had any issues with mine. I've owned mine for a very, very long time, but I still think this is a much bigger improvement. Plus, the face is definitely better, and those eyes were just wonky. It might have been just my copy of the figure, but the eyes were just so wonky on this figure, and they're just so much better on this one. So glad they stopped doing the weird side-eye thing. I know a lot of other fans are. And I wouldn't really say the sword looks much better or worse. I think they look both very cool, personally, so I don't know. Can't really say I like one sword more than the other. Plus, I like the soft rubbery goods that don't hinder the articulation at all versus these shoulder pads here that are on a hinge and could break very easily if you're not careful with this. So, like if you store it improperly, you know, this could break very easily. And of course, the articulation is way better on this figure than this figure. So, there is that. That's another reason. Because back then, when they were doing Arkham City and Arkham Asylum, they weren't really focusing on articulation so much. They weren't really focusing on the action figure aspect of the Arkham line as much as they were focusing on detail and likeness, which, I mean, for the time, I thought the Raz Al Ghoul was pretty good, but I think this is much, much better, in my opinion. And I'm glad that McFarlane's doing some really, really good updates to some of those figures, and hopefully he doesn't stop, you know, here with the wave we just got and the few figures that have been announced and are up for pre-order right now as well. And last but not least, here we have Cobblepot, another prominent villain that made a few different appearances in Arkham City. I mean, he's really, aside from Hugo Strange, the first villain we encounter. Now, we don't encounter him as Batman. We encounter him as Bruce Wayne when Cobblepot tries to hassle Bruce Wayne. Of course, it doesn't work, but really cool villain to appear. I'm glad we got a Cobblepot figure because this is also way better than the DC one. So, yeah. Cobblepot comes with Grundy's head and Grundy's coat. He comes with his signature umbrella, Ella, A, and his head popped off. Oh, I just realized I never did the data file card for Raz Al Ghoul. So before we get further into Cobblepot, let's do that real quick. So here he is. Now for this one, they used toy artwork rather than the in-game artwork for some reason. In fact, he's the only one they did that for, because even with Cobblepot, they actually used the in-game artwork. So I wonder why they didn't use that for this. Maybe they just couldn't get a hold of it, which how would they not have if they clearly used it for reference for the figure? I don't know. Anyway, Raz Al Ghoul. Real name unknown. Raz Al Ghoul is his adoptive name according to this data file card. Little is known about the early years of the nearly immortal Raz Al Ghoul, leader of the League of Assassins, whose name means the demon's head. He has lived for many centuries due to the Lazarus Pit's mystical and alchemical brews that restore his youth. A brilliant master of strategy and organization, Raz's goal is to save the Earth from eventual ecological devastation by destroying the most of its population. He recognizes Batman as both a worthy foe and possible ally, except that Batman cannot accept Raz's dystopic worldview. And in many stories, he tries to pass along his torch of being the head of the demon to Bruce, who he so lovingly refers to as Detective. All right, time for some Cobblepot action. So here he is, the fourth and final figure of the Arkham City Grundy Build-A-Figure wave. An awesome, awesome, solid Penguin figure. I like that we're getting more Penguin stuff. We got a really, really awesome Penguin figure from the Batman wave, featuring Colin Farrell as the Penguin. Best on-screen performance as the Penguin. I mean, it really, really unparalleled. So good. Really, really great figure and great portrayal. But here is the Arkham City version. He does come with his top hat, which is not removable. His head popped off the ball joint again, or maybe I just didn't. Okay, that time I felt it pop on there. He is fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated shoulders, upper bicep, double jointed elbows, wrist joints, waist, hips, single jointed knees, ankle joints, and those toe pivoting joints. And then, like I said, he of course comes with his umbrella, Ella, with that awesome bird cane topper to it, which you can put in his hand. Be cool if it opened up and you could use it as a weapon, as he does. I really feel like they nailed his face sculpt really good. I love how they got the detailing on his glass covered eye, because traditionally in his character design sometimes he has a monocle. Well, he does in the Arkham universe as well, but at the point of Arkham City, it's the bottom of a glass bottle instead of a monocle, which is just dug into his eye socket, which is so brutally awesome. He also has this little prosthetic piece on his neck. I think maybe it has to do with his smoking habit, probably. And that's another thing worth mentioning. If you look at his hand right here, the way his fingers are posed, it almost looks like he could be holding a cigar like he does in the Arkhamverse and, pretty much every version of the Penguin except for the Batman, because, well, the DC studio is just a mess right now. I like how he's got his wrapped hand as it appeared in the game. The details on his tattered and worn suit are really cool. Even his shoes have that nice little covering bit on them and still look kind of nice. Overall, a really great figure, and again, a huge improvement on the DC Collectibles version. Now, this is the later DC Collectibles version, which had some slight better articulation than the regular Arkham City release of Cobblepot. As you can see, he's a bit smaller than the Arkham City version, although some of the details are a little bit more prominent, like the wound around his eye and around his neck prosthetic. But overall, I think face sculpt and detail and size, this is a clear winner between the two. Plus, this one has almost no articulation whatsoever. He's got some shoulder articulation, he's got some wrist articulation, he's got a little bit of head articulation. You can remove his hat, and that's it for his articulation. He doesn't have any other articulation whatsoever. So, clear winner in my opinion. That's just me. I don't know. What do you guys think? And then, of course, before we build Grundy here, we have his data file card. Real name, Oswald Cobblepot. The Penguin is an eccentric criminal mastermind known for his shady business dealings. Born into the wealthy Cobblepot family, Oswald was sent overseas for school as a boy. When his family hit hard times, Cobblepot immersed himself in a criminal education on the streets of London. Years later, he re-emerged as the Penguin, a black market arms dealer in Gotham City, facilitating the illegal financial activities that fund much of the city's underworld. And there you have it. The full wave right here. Really awesome figure set. What do you guys think? Is this a really good wave in your opinion? Let us know in the comments or some of the characters you would have rather seen produced in this wave. And hopefully McFarlane sees this and, hopefully they're already working on them or will get to them at some point. because there's still a lot for them to get to in the DC multiverse. There's still loads and loads of characters that they have yet to produce, loads and loads of stories that they have yet to do a single character for. They're also really popular and really great, so hopefully they get to some of those soon too. All right, so we're going to start building our Grundy. We'll start with the legs, so we're going to take this leg joint, we're going to plug that in right there. Just push it all the way up. There we go. That was the snap I was looking for. So that one's nice and secure in. Let's get that other one on. Didn't quite hear it, but I definitely felt it. So there's his legs on and secure. Take his coat, put it on over his torso there, and then we take these arms, plug them in on that little ball joint there into the shoulder socket. Nice and easy. There we go. And then last but not least, his head is also on a ball joint. We just pop that on. And there you have it. And it's not like he's super small, you know? It's not like he's tiny in comparison to these other characters. He's still a good, you know, head taller than everybody else. Batman, with the point of his cowl, comes up to his shoulders. So it's not like he's significantly undersized. I feel as though he should be a little bit bigger, but not drastically so. Not to the size of the DC Direct one, in my opinion. Now, some people may have different opinions on that, and that's totally fine, but that's just how I feel about it. I do love a lot of the detail they got on this guy. First of all, he is, once assembled, fully articulated. Head is on a ball joint. Fully articulated. Woo! Fully articulated shoulders there, in and out, all that good stuff. Be careful not to pull out the arm. No bicep. Single jointed elbows. Wrist joints. Waist. Hips. Single jointed knees. Ankle joints. And toe joints. Man, I just keep pulling that arm out of the socket there. And that face looks really, really good too. I also like his really dirty and wispy and matted hair, just kind of like all over the place up there. I also really like how they got his stapled on like chest section where his, you know, chest has been opened up. Now, of course, this panel does come off in the game and you can actually see his guts and stuff on the inside, but they didn't unfortunately do that on this version. Hopefully there's a future version of Grundy, maybe a special gold label or something down the road where they do that, and that would be really cool. I know the DC Direct version has that removable panel feature, which I'm so glad they did that, but again, this is a much more affordable figure in my opinions. I love the sewn on detail over here and over here on his biceps. That's really cool. They got the rusted chains really well. There's the string belt, and then you've got the tattered cloth, the other, you know, scar and sewn on and stapled details on his legs as well. Overall, a really great designed figure. I think they did a fantastic job putting this wave together, and like I said, I just can't wait for more. But what's a figure from the Arkham series, like I've been saying throughout this whole video, that you're excited to see next, that hasn't either been already announced or up for pre-order from McFarlane Toys in the DC Multiverse line? Let us know in the comments. I personally really want to see Mr. Freeze, Two-Face from Arkham City especially. One that's really up high on my list just from the Arkham franchise is Poison Ivy. We've only gotten one Poison Ivy, and it was the Arkham Asylum line, where it didn't have a whole lot of articulation. Now, the detail's pretty cool on it, but I would really like to see a good, fully articulated Poison Ivy at some point. They got to do a Harley Quinn. I mean, yes, there's lots of Harley Quinn figures from Arkham, but DC Multiverse has yet to do a Harley, and we've gotten several Jokers. We're getting another Joker soon, so Harley's got to be coming at some point because she's got a lot of awesome different outfits throughout that series. But like I said, name one in the comments that you're excited to see. Stay tuned for more Bay 12 content. Stay tuned for more DC Multiverse reviews. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on social media. And stay tuned for our monthly Bay 12 live sales that we do on our Facebook page. Check out the new Bay 12 physical location. It's inside the Order 66 Multiverse store located in Willow Bend Mall in North Texas. It's in West Plano off of North Dallas Tollway and Park. It's inside the mall. The 2 rooms that are Bay 12 are pretty awesome. There's all kinds of figures, including some Arkham figures in there as well, if that's what you like. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. Same bat time, same bat channel.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.